Hello gamers, welcome back to another Bleach Soul Resonance video. In this video, we will be discussing how to build Shikai Ichigo and how to use them. The last video I did was on Segunda El Tapo Kiora and it did pretty well. So here I am, leeching off of the views of that video. But regardless, Shikai Ichigo is the first of the 4,000-year Blood War collab units that will be coming to this game. And he is a thrust full assault unit, and he is a very, very strong unit in my opinion. So without further ado, let's get into how you can build Shikai Ichigo. So, when it comes to Shikai Ichigo, when I was summoning, I did get him B2. I haven't done this yet, but I can make him B2, which I will be doing in the video. I will be comparing a B1 Ichigo to a B2 Ichigo when it comes to their damage output, because his B2, while on paper does not look that strong, but in my opinion it should give Ichigo a massive damage boost. So we will be comparing that in the video, B1 against B2. But for now, let's take a look at how you can build a B0 Ichigo. Then will move on to a B1 Ichigo. So, first things first, let's look at his weapon. He gets 20% crit rate from his weapon, which is really nice, and other damage buffs. And then moving on to his skills, the most important skills here are his core passive. The last paragraph, when Ichigo uses his normal attacks, every 4 hits gives him a stack of charge, which stacks up to 3 stacks, and every stack gives him a 6% crit rate boost, which totals up to 18% crit rate from the charge stacks, as well as his passive boost 3, which gives him 0.7% crit damage for every 1% ailment damage bonus. So with this, you can already tell that you should go with an ailment damage bonus third piece on True Shikai Ichigo. But regardless, as for B0 Ichigo, he gets 20% crit rate from his weapon and 18% crit rate from his core passive. So opening the calculator, as usual, the calculator download will be in the description, and how to use it, the tutorial on how to using it will also be there in the description. If you put in the 18% crit rate that he gets from his passive and 20% crit rate that he gets from his weapon, you can see you need 2 rolls, 1 roll, and 1 roll, and your 3 set stamps in any order to hit the 100% crit rate. You can do it without a crit rate second stamp. That was with the second stamp crit rate. Without the second stamp crit rate, you'll need perfect rolls into crit rate, which not only is very RNG heavy, you will also be missing out on a lot of ailment damage that you could possibly have, maximizing the crit damage that you can get from his passive boost 3. So, going with crit rate second stamp is recommended. You can get 2-1-1 on your set stamps, and then the remaining rolls can go into, say, attack percentage or ailment damage bonus. In my opinion, crit damage rolls are not as good as, say, ailment damage or attack percentage for Shikai Ichigo in this case. So, when it comes to building a B0 Shikai Ichigo, it is simple enough. For example, let me show some stamps. Let's say this stamp, if I 6-start this, this would be 2 in crit rate, 2 in crit damage, 1 in element damage bonus. If I 6-start this one, this would also be 2 in crit rate, 3 in crit damage, and 1 in ailment damage bonus. And then this is, if I say upgraded this and say 1 roll in crit rate, I would easily be able to hit a crit rate 100%, while also having a lot of ailment damage bonus, maximizing the crit damage that you get from his passive 3. So building a B0 Ichigo is simple enough. There's not much you can change about him. I would recommend going with crit rate on his second stamp. That's really about it for a B0 Ichigo. With that being said, let's take Ichigo to B1 now. His B1 increases his touch damage by 20% and increases the number of charge stacks to 6. The charge stacks are the ones that gives him the 6% crit rate, so this is essentially just doubling the crit rate he gets from his core passive. Also, while Ichigo is at the backline, he gains charge stacks, and upon entering the battle, he gains the charge stacks immediately, all 6 of them. This is just quality of life stuff for Ichigo. If you have the Jades to spend, even if you're free to play, I would recommend getting his B1. B2, we'll find out later on in the video if it's worth it or not, but for now, I would say B1 is worth it. It just makes his gameplay a lot smoother. So let's take him to B1. There we go. Now, when it comes to B1, again, his weapon at W1 gives 20% crit rate, and now his core passive, instead of 18%, now it gives 36% crit rate. So going back to the calculator, this gets changed to 36%. And now, if you have a crit rate second stamp, you only need one roll to get the 100% crit rate. If you get rid of that crit rate second stamp, you'll need to distribute between 332 or 422 or 431, all of those in any order. This is not as RNG heavy as before, but it still requires a lot of RNG, and you'll again be missing out on a lot of ailment damage bonus in this case, which would mean you would not get a lot of crit damage from his third passive. So again, if you have him at W1 B1, I would recommend again going with a crit rate second stamp. Even if you have him, let's say W2, which would increase his crit rate to 25%. Even here, this is still a little bit RNG heavy. I would still recommend going with crit rate. At W3 and above is when I would recommend not going with crit rate second stamp, because here it's not as RNG heavy. This is only 5 rolls. The remaining can go into ailment damage bonus, and you can maximize your crit damage that you get from your passive boost 3. And in this case, when you're not going with crit rate second stamp, do not go with crit damage second stamp, go with attack percentage instead. He already gets a lot of crit damage from his passive boost 3, as well as the Mayuri buffs from Terror, 100% here, and then score stamp increases it by another 100%. So crit damage on True Shikai Ichigo is not an issue at all, so going with crit damage second set stamp is not recommended. I would recommend going with attack percentage if you have him W3, B1, and above. W3 and above, and B1. That's when I would recommend not going with crit rate second set stamp. Otherwise, you should go with crit rate second set stamp. But that's basically the gist of how you can build your True Shikai Ichigo. So for going back to the W1, you need one roll in crit rate. Going back to my build, my first set stamp has one roll in crit rate, 2 rolls in ailment damage bonus, and 2 rolls in attack percentage, and its basic stats are attack percentage. Second set stamp has crit rate and 3 rolls in ailment damage bonus and 2 in HP, which kind of sucks, but it's fine. It's not the end of the world. Then the third one also has 3 in ailment damage bonus, 2 in attack, and 1 in crit damage. So with this out of the way, if you take a look at his crit rate, it is at 64.6%. This does not include the 36% that he gets from his core passive and B1. So 64.6 plus 36 would be 100.6% crit rate. So Ichigo gets to 100% crit rate. He gets 80% crit damage, 80.7 crit damage, and he gets 185.6% ailment damage bonus. So that gets converted to 185 times 0.7, which is equal to 129.5% crit damage. Add that to 80.7, you have a total of 210.2% crit damage, which is a lot for any character. So with that out of the way, let's take a look at the builds of my Nelliel and my Mayuri, so that I can show you how the rotations can work. As far as Nelliel goes, I do have her B1. I will give you guys a rotation for a B0 Nelliel that works. I just won't use the 3 battle wheels that she gets from her B1. If you replicate the rotation that I show you, it will work on a B0 Nelliel. As for our stamp sets, these aren't perfect. The first and second stamp are the best ones on Nelliel. These are pretty good. But the third set stamp does not have any crit rate. I did farm a lot for her, but I didn't get anything good. But it is really important that you have the ult charge rate here on Nelliel. This makes her rotations a lot faster, and for a character like Nelliel who requires a lot of field time, this is needed when it comes to when you pair her with a character like Ichigo, who also requires quite a bit of field time himself. Moving on to Mayuri, I have his core stamp Ascension 2, which gives me a tiny bit more buffs than Ascension 1. As far as set stamps, I basically maximized our charge rate on set stamp 1 and 3. The second one is Not that great, but it's not that big of a deal. He's a support at the end of the day. I have him B0, no B1 shenanigans, 0 for Mayuri. And I do not have Mayuri's weapon. I did not summon for Mayuri's weapon because this SR stamp method performed similar to Mayuri's weapon at W1. I did plan on summoning for Mayuri's weapon if he reran, but he didn't rerun with Ichigo. And because apparently he was supposed to be in a selector, which we thought was going to be free, but apparently it is not free. I don't know the logistics or if it's confirmed or not, so take my word with a grain of salt. But I don't think the selector is going to be free. I think it's going to be paid. So I can't get the Mayuri weapon stamp either because I am a free to play. I don't spend money in this game. So I guess it's stalling me for longer. Maybe Mayuri will rerun with the next thrust tactics in it, hopefully. But anyways, let's hop into free practice. And first I will show you guys the rotations that you can copy with a B0 Nelliel.
超人役とでもねえ答えを問う終わりな行くぞセロシンクレジト遅い歌えガミウサここよ終わりなねえこっちを来い金色あっそぎ地蔵ランサドールベルトはいおしまい終わりだね遅いここよはいおしまい終わりね行くぞセロシンクレジコ歌えガミウサここよ終わりなおしまい何やねむ答えランサドールベルはいおしまい
And there it is, a B1 Ichigo and B0 Nelliel rotation. I purposely did not use the battle bells I get from Nelliel's ultimate from her B1. So if you copy this rotation with a B0 Nelliel, this will work for you as well, if you copy the exact rotation. And as far as Ichigo's rotations goes, his rotations does not change depending on his use. They stay the same regardless of if you have him B0, B1, B2, B6, whatever. His rotations will stay the same. So his dupe does not matter. But now that B0 Nelliel has been taken care of, let's now take a look at a B1 Nelliel and how you can use Ichigo with her and show you the rotations.
超人役とでもねえこっちへ来いセロシンクレジコ遅いおしまい歌えガミウサ一発の口を聞かないでここよ終わりねえこっちへ来い金色あっそ ランサドールベルデ。はい、おしまい。
超人薬とでもねえの。
ここよ。はい、おしまい。終わりね。行くぞセロシンクレジコ。歌えガミューサ。一発の口を聞かないで。ここよ。はい、終わりね。
何やねえのこっちへ来い。
ランサドールベルデ。はい、おしまい。おしまい。
So as you can see, the damage numbers when it comes to a B0 Nelliel and a B1 Nelliel are similar enough. It's more so the fact that with a B1 Nelliel you have a tiny bit more room for error, because as far as B0 Nelliel goes, if you make even the tiniest of mistakes, you can't get the two Ichigo nukes off in 1 minute. You'll only be able to have one. When it comes to B1 Nelliel, you'll be able to get the two Ichigo ults off more consistently, even if you make tiny mistakes. So that's the main strength that you have for B1 Nelliel. In my opinion, B1 Nelliel is not worth it right now. She was worth it when she was supposed to be paired with Gin, but now that she is supposed to be paired with Ichigo, I don't think it's worth it, and you can just see it right here in the tests. When Nelliel is played as a B0 unit or a B1 unit, the damage numbers are similar enough. Sure, she does get some buffs from her B1 that does buff her damage, but at the end of the day, you won't see that big of a difference when it comes between a B1 Nelliel and a B0 Nelliel, so I would not recommend going for dupes on her either. Now, next, let's exit out of the free practice and B2 our Ichigo. That's where he gets more ult damage, and let's see if getting in B2 is worth it or not. There we go, he is B2'd now. Let's take him into free practice and see if it is worth it.
超人薬とでもねえのこっちへ来い。
セロシンクレジコ。遅い。おしまい。歌えガミューサ。一発の口を聞かないで。ここよ。おしまい。ランサドールベルデ。はい、おしまい。
超人薬とでも
遅い。ここよ。 終わりね。
行くぞセロシンクレット。
歌えガミューサ。一発の口を聞かないで。ここよ。欲しいね。
急ぎ地蔵。
終わりね。
何や目の答えを
ランサドールベルデ。
ほらほら
欲しいね。
So as you can see, a B2 Ichigo just about hits a 4 million damage per second mark. This isn't exactly 4 million, it's almost there. It's pretty much within margin of error. So a B1 Ichigo was at about 3.5 million damage per second, and a B2 Ichigo is at 4 million damage per second. This isn't worth it for free-to-plays in my opinion. You should stick to a B1 Ichigo. Maybe me missing Mayuri's weapon or Nelliel not being as good for Ichigo is skewing the results here a bit. But right now, as it stands, getting Ichigo B2 should not be a priority. I got pretty lucky while summoning, that's why I have him B2. But other than that, if you have him B1, I'd say stop at B1 and don't get B2. If things stay as they are, I wouldn't be surprised if his B2 gets buffed either. By things staying as they are, I meant if me getting Mayuri's weapon and the new thrust tactic not making the difference between B1 Ichigo and B2 Ichigo that big. If that stays the same, I wouldn't be as surprised if his B2 does get buffed. But at the end of the day, right now, I would say don't go for his B2. Later down the line, if it gets buffed or if it gets more usability with the future thrust tactic, Ichigo is here for over 2 months, almost 3 months, so you will be able to summon for him and get him B2 then. So for now, I'd say keep him at B1. So that is the entirety of True Shikai Ichigo in Bleach Soul Resonance. If you have any questions or have anything that you feel I was wrong about, feel free to let me know in the comments. The rotations will probably get better over time, but this is what I came up with, which is the best right now for me at the very least. If it gets better, then I will let you guys know in the comment section. Just check the pinned comment for any updates. Also, join my Discord server. The link will be in the description. If you have any queries regarding any character, regardless of who they are, you can join the Discord and ask me over there. And other than that, like, subscribe, share the video with your Soul Resonance mates, and I will see you guys with the next Soul Resonance video. That's about it. See ya!